Driving to your house that night, I was like, I feel like Abby's gonna tell us she's pregnant.
We were just at the doctor too. We had just gone for our first ever appointment. So when you guys told us that you were pregnant, we were just like, no freaking way.
Your business is either gonna thrive and continue to grow, or you're gonna suffocate. And I just feel like I kind of got to a point where it's like, I don't know.
I was in my tidy whities in front of our whole entire family at Easter. I was on the cross, and because you didn't follow directions, Jesus ended up coming off the cross and biting the Roman soldier on the butt. Hey, before we get started, if you guys could go ahead and smash the subscribe button and hit the like button too, that really helps us out and we'd really appreciate it.
What's up, dudes?
And welcome back
Chris.
to the Unplanned podcast. Today we've got my brother and sister-in-law on today, Caleb and Abigail.
Thanks for being here.
We have
Thanks
to
for
call her
having us.
Abigail because your name is Abby and my wife's name is Abby. And I'm
We should actually talk about
explaining
that.
this for
We
the
should.
viewers right now.
I took Abby's name.
No, we should talk about the other options of nicknames there were.
Oh yeah, well we have two Abby Howards in our family, so it's like we got to differentiate somehow.
Well,
So-
okay, it's because you and your brother both married Abby's.
exactly. So
Okay.
Some people think that we're sisters.
I started dating you first.
Exactly. I stole your name.
You guys were engaged first, though, so.
but you're way taller than my Abby, and my Abby's really short. So my Abby's little Abby, and you're big Abby.
We'll keep up with that.
my mom was like, well, we gotta like differentiate somehow. Like, well, you're 5'8" and Abby's 5'2", and we'll call you Big. Oh, we can't do that.
She
We
goes,
can't.
Big Abby, little Abby. And I was like, oh, yeah. I'll go by that. And she goes, no. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
Well, I think there
think
was
of
another
something
one
else.
that was like quick. We're like, what if we did like, because you're from West County and I'm from Quincy, we're like Wabby and Quabby. And I was like,
I don't remember.
that's not going to stick.
Oh, maybe not do that.
And then we're like, well, your full name is Abigail and mine's just Abby, so.
I love my given name. I'll take it. We'll go with that.
But the funny thing is, when I'm around family and I call you Abby, my mom's like, Caleb, it's Abigail. I'm like,
I love
Okay,
your mom makes such like your family makes such a direct effort to go, and Abigail. Like they're so like,
I messed up because I don't think I've ever called you Abigail.
That's okay.
I thought it was funny. Caleb for a while was calling you Gail,
Oh.
and that made you really mad. And it was kind of
Yeah.
funny to listen
Still
to.
makes her
Honestly,
mad.
I didn't want that to stick, Too young to be a Gail.
Didn't Gail have a certain context also only?
Yeah, it was when I was doing something stupid or
Oh,
dumb
yeah.
or
Oh,
clumsy.
Gail.
Oh,
He's like,
Gail.
that's a Gail move.
yeah. Like when she left the oven on, I wasn't home and you had to leave and you left the oven on with broccoli or cauliflower in it. I think it was cauliflower. So cauliflower was white. I got home. It was
Dust.
straight carbon. It was
His
black.
dust.
You didn't smell it?
Well, I
No,
left.
she was
Oh,
gone.
you left.
I checked the stove multiple times. I'm like, everything's turned off. This is safe. Forgetting fully that I had food in the oven, and it was fire.
I walk
There's
in.
fire.
I walk into the apartment, not our apartment, not
The
our
building.
like room, like the apartment
complex.
building, and I'm like, oh, it smells like a fire, and I get closer and closer to the door, and I'm like, oh, this is our room,
It's our
Oh my
fire.
gosh.
That was a Gail
and there was
move.
like char marks on the top of the oven.
Never came off.
Oh, on the oven itself. That pan was
Yeah.
probably done for.
No, we still use it.
They'll buff
So,
out.
so you guys were together much longer than Abby and I were before you got married, but we got engaged before you guys. So I'm curious, when we got engaged before you guys.
Well, we're both high school sweethearts.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys started dating in high school. Abby and I started dating in high school. Which actually, that's like really cool that we both ended up marrying our high school sweethearts, Caleb.
Was it your freshman or sophomore year when you guys started dating?
No,
No, it was
senior
right after
year.
junior year.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
So yeah,
same
summer
for
before
us.
senior year, we started dating.
Oh, that was like same with us.
But we were
Yeah.
long distance though.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, you guys dated a while, and then we get engaged before you. Did that kind of rub you the wrong way when your younger brother got engaged before you did? Even though you dated your girlfriend for like 6 years.
I think we were both we both knew that we were wanting to get married to the
Yeah.
Abbeys, and I think the timing, because you guys got engaged at Kaleo and Disney World,
Yeah.
and you weren't there, and I wanted to do it. Well, I asked your dad permission at the end of that summer, and he said no.
Wait, what?
You knew that.
But like he actually did though. Like it was actually.
It was like
There were
not
reasons.
now. Like your sister was.
Sister was about to get married.
Your sister was engaged.
Yeah.
And he's like, I already have one daughter that's about to get married in September. Let's talk after September.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. She got married on a Saturday in September, and literally on Monday I was like, hey, John, can we talk? And I already had the ring, I think, at that point. And so I was like, I was ready to go.
Yeah, and we were engaged already at that point, right?
Did he say yes then?
Yeah.
They said yeah.
Yeah.
They had concerns just like your parents. We were young.
Yeah.
I mean, Caleb was 21 when you asked for permission, and I was 22. So they had the same concerns, like, how the heck is this
We
gonna
had,
work?
like, we had
I mean,
similar experiences.
Abby and I were 19. I was 19 asking her parents for permission, and her mom and I had like a 45-minute conversation about it. Me and her dad talked for
Was
maybe
it pleasant? Or
maybe
was it...
we talked for maybe 45 seconds, me and her dad. That was the funniest
He's
part.
a man of few words.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, I want to marry your daughter." He's like, "Cool, sounds good." Like, it wasn't.
I don't think he was surprised either. Like,
They knew it was coming.
you
Yeah.
spent so much time at our house and
Yeah.
everything. But then Mom, she's
Did you
the
talk,
one you got to get
Did you
through.
talk to Ruth, Abby's mom, at all about asking her to marry you?
So when I talked to Abby's dad, like in the end of that summer, so July or whatever, he's like, let's wait till September, and then we're gonna have a conversation between, like him and Ruth and me, like the three of
Yeah.
us. So yeah, that's how that kind of went.
And was that intimidating? Because like Abby's dad's kind of famous in the St. Louis area where we're from. He's the announcer for the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team. So like for
Little
you,
plug.
were
Name
you
drop.
were you nervous? Were you John Hewlett? If you guys know who that is, if you're a local St.
The
Louisan,
you man, blah 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 blah.
is that his name? The
Yeah.
U Man?
Yeah.
Because he does radio, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Your dad's a really nice guy. But did that I don't know, intimidate you?
I don't think that was like a factor. Like
think
we've
the-
already been dating for what was it?
6 years. Yeah, at that point.
So I mean, I knew him. Mm-hmm. You know.
Just that conversation in general is probably an intimidating conversation to have.
But this was like
Not the second time.
Oh,
This
the
is
second
like-
time
this
around
is
you're
like the
warmed up.
third
The third time.
Wait, there were two? There were two
Well, the
conversations?
first time was after my junior year summer,
Oh.
and it was more of like a, hey, I have intentions to marry your daughter. What do you expect from me? What do you want to see out of me? Like, it was like, hey, this is coming. Just a heads up. So I feel like it prepped them.
Yeah.
And
That's
so then
very
the next
respectful.
summer was a no. So it was like, hey, this is coming. No. Okay.
3 months
We're here
later.
now.
Fine.
Yeah. But I feel like your guys' moms bonded over like these crazy Howard boys. Like,
Literally, I think so.
I think we bonded over that too. We're
But then
like,
think about what your parents were going through. They had two weddings, like literally less than a month apart.
it
Yeah.
was such a fun summer.
Because when yours was June
14th.
14th, yeah, July 6th.
Yeah.
I mean, to us at the time, like, I did not feel young because, like, to me, 19 was, like, old. I was getting so mature and old. But now that I'm 24, about to turn 25, thinking about me asking for someone's hand in marriage at 19, I'm like, dang, I was a young kid. And you were young, too. Like, you're way younger than I was. So, or than I am now. So, yeah, that's pretty wild.
It
Your
is.
parents really are troopers. They didn't really bat an eye, I feel like. They were just excited.
Yeah.
I think we kind of...
We are like, when we are setting our mind towards something,
Yeah.
there's not really much that's gonna like, if we're convicted and like, well, I'm doing this, then
Yeah.
I think mom and dad know like, they're gonna do it.
They raised you to be that way.
They did.
Yeah.
And they gave you, I feel like they gave you a lot of wise counsel. So it was like, we told them and, you know, did all we could, and they're still going to do what they
Yeah.
want to do. So we'll respect their decision.
Yeah, they're
I mean-
really respectful that way. I feel
Yeah.
like once
Yeah.
you became adults, like they were like, well, it's your
But
decision.
also it's
Yeah.
like, it's not just that decision, but it was like the people we're marrying, and my parents love you guys so much and love your personality and
That's
hearts,
sweet.
and yeah, you guys were like quickly accepted into our family. Like, you did the Muni with Matt, and so my mom
Yeah.
obviously loved you, and then
Yeah.
your dad was John Hewlett, so my dad loved you.
That was the only reason, yeah.
Yeah. which was so funny. Like, the first thing I remember about you meeting Abigail was in high school. You told like our whole family at dinner time, like, yeah, this girl has like has a World Series ring that she said she could give to me, because the Cardinals had won the World Series in 2011, right? And so with Abby's dad working for the Cardinals, he had access to these World Series rings, and you wanted one.
I feel like
Yeah, he did.
you and dad talk about that a lot. I don't remember that being like the most prominent.
Really?
I do. I remember getting a text from you before we were even like dating or even talking, and you're like, hey, there's a game coming up where they're giving out replica rings. Can you get tickets? And I was like, well, you want to go on a date with me? Because what is that?
That's so funny.
That was like in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was simpler times.
Yeah. That's all you had to worry about.
Was that hard? Like going from high school to college? I mean, I guess we did the same thing. We dated in high school and college, but like you guys, I don't know. Were there any hiccups along the way with dating for, what was it, 5-6 years?
I feel like,
Yes.
yeah, there were. Because we did 2 years of like semi-long distance. Because I played volleyball in Indianapolis for a semester. And that was like one of the hardest, that first semester of college was one of the hardest semesters of my life. And Caleb was in high school having like his senior year moment of like, I'm a football star and I'm killing it.
I did not say that.
No, but you were just on cloud nine, you know?
I was killing it.
And I'm like crying in my dorm bed every day, you know?
Yeah.
So we were just on such opposite wavelengths at that time that we almost broke up during that semester. There was like a season in there. And then I transferred to Mizzou. It got a little easier. Then he went to Rolla, and we did that for a year. So I feel like, but also at the same time, I feel like that made us closer, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was like 2 full years of distance. Like, I mean, we were an hour and a half apart. So I know other couples have like, across the country.
But that's really impressive though, because like when you switch to college, you're going through a major like maturity, like a growing process, and the fact that you guys stayed together through that, like for anyone, most people break up when they do distance in college.
I don't know how people do distance for more than a year. Like we did distance for our whole entire senior year, and it was awful. Like I would drive to Quincy as much
Yeah,
as
don't
I
really
could.
count it because we saw each other all the time.
Well, I would drive every other weekend to go see you. Luckily, you were only 2.5 hours away. But for you guys, like, was it a year? How long were you guys long distance?
Well,
Technically?
Abby, when I was a senior in high school, you were a year apart, and then Abby was at Mizzou and I was at Rolla, and I was there a full year, so it was kind of like 2 full years
Dang.
Yeah.
apart.
And when I was at Indy, we only saw each other twice that whole semester because I was playing volleyball, so I couldn't travel.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in high school, so he wasn't allowed to come visit me, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was really hard. But then when we were closer, like an hour and a half isn't that far, so we'd see each other every weekend pretty much.
Was moving to go to the same school the move? Like, was that the right decision, you think, when you?
For sure,
Left
for
your
like a
school.
ton of different reasons.
Yeah. When people like willingly go like different schools for college when they're dating someone, I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna work. I mean, people do make it work. I know there are people that like get married and they're happy and all that, but especially to go like 4 years, I don't know. That's something beyond me. That'd be really
It's a
tough.
pivotal
Your sister
time in your
did it.
life.
Yeah. My older sister did that with her now husband for 4 years.
Really?
But I
Okay.
think there is something to it. Like when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, like that's such a pivotal time where you're maturing and
Yeah.
growing, where it was almost nice where Caleb, like during the week, I could focus on making friends and, doing my own thing a little bit. And then we'd see each other on the weekends. And it was kind of like a little bit of the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it a little bit for a time.
Yeah, Abby's sister and boyfriend at the time, now husband, they were in Texas and Milwaukee, like
Holy
Wow.
cow.
like very far apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So then comes the big summer of the weddings. That was so fun.
It
we
was
had
fun.
combined bridal showers.
I'm so happy we did that.
There's
Yeah.
so many awkward pictures.
Yes.
You sent me one last night.
Wait, we gotta post an awkward bridal
I
shower
don't even
picture.
recognize myself.
No, we look so different.
That awkward bridal shower picture though was freaking
Well, did you
hilarious.
see my hair?
so long.
I thought you looked really pretty. I thought you
I
looked
liked
gorgeous.
it. Yeah.
I was like, wow, that wasn't that long ago. I look like a different person.
Yeah.
I asked you the other day, I was like, how close were you to Abby? Like, you guys weren't close?
Yeah.
We didn't really know each
Yeah.
other.
No, we didn't.
And now you guys are like closer than Caleb and I.
I know, we're best friends. I know, but I think that made us closer. Like, because I think at the time you were always you were in Quincy.
we didn't cross paths really that much.
Yeah, and you would go visit more often than you would come
Yeah.
to St. Louis.
Yeah.
So question, what was that moment? Was there like one time, or has it just like been a continuous thing? Like, when do you guys feel like you got the closest to each other?
I feel like it was before you moved here.
Yeah, I think it was when we came and visited you guys in Springfield. And we went to Silver Dollar City.
That was fun.
The
that
Yule
was
log.
fun.
And we made a Yule log.
You guys were just starting YouTube.
That was
I mean, you
fun.
guys had done a little bit and were growing at that point, but
And
yeah.
then we've gone on a lot of trips together, I feel like.
Yeah.
Between
Bandon,
Hawaii, Joshua
Yeah.
Tree.
We've done a lot of traveling
You
together.
moving here obviously was
Yeah.
really fun.
Thanks for moving here, guys. We didn't have any family in Arizona until you guys moved here.
Yeah.
It was a big reason we wanted to come out.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, mostly Griffin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Griffin
wouldn't be
was
by
the
Griffin.
Griffin was the
We
one.
don't care about you guys.
I remember actually when your like big moving trucks were coming, and I was like so pregnant at that point. I was like, I'm gonna help you guys move in.
You're like, you brought snow cones.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
you're like, well, what can I help with? I was like, nothing. You're 8 months pregnant.
I don't really know if I'm gonna be able to.
It was
get
hot that day.
Well, you
Poor
guys
Matt.
moved at the worst time because Arizona is like 120 in the
Yeah.
summertime, and you guys are like, "Yeah, we're moving in the summer," and it was brutal.
So
it was
bad.
so freaking hot. I remember I was like, I had sweat stains on my T-shirt from trying to get your stuff out of your moving truck.
Yeah.
Because you guys had a ton of stuff. You guys moved your small business all the way from Kansas City to Phoenix, and you had a whole entire moving truck dedicated just to product for Bolt Boutique, your small business.
It feels like that was a long time ago because
Yeah.
it feels like you guys have been here this whole time, but wasn't that long ago?
Well,
Not even a year.
Yeah.
I feel like that moving trip was a whole other like.
Yeah, I kind of go into
Story.
that. You drove, Abby. You drove
Wait.
a moving truck with pulling a large vehicle also
Yes.
behind it.
I'm a real woman.
And
How
you
big was
crashed
the
into a car.
I did crash into a car.
Tell us about that.
So it was fine.
sad.
I need to find pictures of this. Keep talking.
You guys were
We-
like, that thing is like a semi truck. It's massive, and then you're
Yes.
trying to get out of was it
Yes.
your neighborhood or your house?
That's a tight
And you hit a vehicle
parking
parked
lot.
on the street.
Yes, so we picked up these two 16-foot trucks with trailers on the back for our cars. And our street that our apartment was on was so narrow. And
Yeah.
I had never turned one of these things before.
It is
I had
so narrow.
literally driven that truck for a whole 10 minutes. And Caleb was calling me to tell me not to turn the truck. And I pick up and I go, I hit a car. His little words were, you didn't. I'm falling. I'm like,
didn't.
I did. I can't breathe. I hit a car.
It was
Took the
so
front
bad.
bumper, like huge chunk of the bumper off.
Did
And-
you hear it? Like,
Dang.
did it happen
Oh,
slow?
yeah.
Are you looking
Yeah.
for a picture of it, Caleb?
Yeah, I feel like I'm not finding it right now. I have a picture of you unloading our truck.
I mean, those things were huge.
That
They
was
were-
really impressive. Honestly, one accident.
A win.
I'm
That's a
impressed.
win.
No, I'm
That's
very.
a high
I don't-
score.
Abby and I would have killed each other trying to move two massive semi
There's
trucks.
no chance I would have driven it.
No shot. Abby wouldn't have done it. I don't know how you guys did
I
that.
can barely drive in Phoenix.
They're 16-foot Penske trucks with a trailer on the back,
With your vehicle,
with
right?
the vehicle on the trailer, hitched down. I didn't tell you. I did tell you this. When we stopped at one of like the places to get gas or whatever, and I realized on, I think it was your car, one of the like ratchet straps that go on the tires to keep your car from moving was like it fell off or something. So it could have been. I mean, it was not.
What were we doing?
That would have been really dangerous.
I think
If
our
a
light
car
bulb-
falls off a trailer,
Bro, Lightning McQueen in cars. Like, that's what happened to
Yeah.
Lightning
yeah, that would have
McQueen.
been what happened.
It would have drove away on its own.
That would
like,
have
I'm
ended up in
getting outta
Radio
here.
Meet you in Phoenix.
Dude, Cars takes place in, I think, Sedona. So, like, that could have actually happened, like, from the movie, but in real
Okay.
life.
Oh.
Route 66, yeah.
Yeah, Route 66.
So
Yeah.
you both drive these massive vehicles down, and then
I was so
Across the
nervous.
country.
Yeah. Abby was paranoid
I
about
was
this.
so nervous. I had slept an hour the night before, and
No.
I mean, I don't know how TMI you guys got in here, but I was like,
We get
I
very
couldn't stop
TMI.
going to the bathroom the whole
It's
night.
all good.
I was
That's
so
not,
nervous.
we've gotten way more TMI than that. I can
Trust
I
me.
woke
guarantee
up
that.
every hour on the hour just to go sit on the toilet. I was like, I'm so scared. I just hit a car. It was a torrential downpour the day that
It
we
was
were
pouring
driving.
rain.
Couldn't even see. And I'm like, I don't want to do this at all. But we made it. And
Yeah.
you get used to it quick.
Was that scary?
And I never want to
moving?
do it again.
Like you guys, I mean, you're like me. Like when we moved to Hawaii, that was a big jump because we were just small town, like Midwesterners. I mean, I guess I grew out.
You were not
I grew,
small town.
I grew up outside of St. Louis, but like it wasn't like
you're
I've
a
ever.
city boy through and through.
Okay, whatever. But I'm not that much of a city boy.
Yeah, you
You
are.
know.
Why
I
do you
am.
Howard boys think that you're like countrymen? Caleb keeps saying, I make a great
A
cowboy.
great cowboy.
He's allergic
Our
to
grandpa-
horses.
You're
You guys
allergic.
would not
Well, we
make
found
that
that
on the podcast.
Oh my
Instagram.
gosh.
Caleb's allergic reaction to the
That was
horses.
hilarious. Your eyes swelled up.
They're
We rode
so
It was so
Horses.
worth it.
Gosh. Yeah,
Sorry,
Caleb
Matt,
had an
keep
allergic
going.
reaction to a horse when we were riding horses in Oregon on a trip, and his eye turned into like a.
It happened fast.
Yeah.
I feel like you were like, something feels weird, and the next thing,
It was worth it.
The tears just
Anyway.
streaming out the one eye.
No, but you guys left Kansas City. Like, were you scared or were you excited or both? Probably.
Oh, so many different emotions.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you answer. I don't know.
No, yeah, that's my answer. We had
Oh,
a ton
all of
of just
them.
all the emotions.
Hey.
Excited, happy, sad that, I mean, we cried like leaving our friends and community and our church that we had like ton of friends through. Like that was super hard.
Yeah.
Like we had so many like really deep, great connections with people in Kansas City.
And you guys, you know, owning Bolt Boutique, a small clothing boutique that you guys run, like you guys at the time were both full-time with Bolt, and then moving that across the country, like a physical business. Our business is online. I mean, I guess technically yours is like an online clothing boutique, but that's scary too, to take all that product and hope it doesn't get stolen along the way. I mean, you guys had thousands upon thousands of dollars in products in just those moving trucks. If one would have gotten stolen, like it's like game over for your business,
And
right?
that was one of
Like-
your paranoid things. Like we bought all the security measures. We bought the steering wheel like locks.
Yeah.
We bought
Boots.
locks for the trailers, which is kind of an obvious one. We bought like the boots that like
Go on the tires.
that the parking police will put on people's cars, you know.
Because a week or two before we moved, our neighbor was like, you know, U-Haul theft is really common. And I was like,
What?
Apparently
What do
they're
you
really
mean?
easy to hot
That's
wire.
so bold.
Apparently they're easy to
Take
hot
a
wire.
whole truck.
Yeah.
It's so smart though. I mean, think about people have so many valuables in those trucks, and they're moving them themselves. So, not saying it's a good idea.
Yeah.
But it just makes sense that
That's
happens.
a bold move.
So it was
though.
scary for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, yeah, and then I mean, like that's taking a big risk, and now you guys are in Arizona. I know a lot's happened in the past year. Abby, you're kind of focusing more on social media now, right? Like, from what I understand, you're moving away from Bolt, and you're kind of taking more on like you're full on content creator now, like making content on Instagram, TikTok. Like, tell me about that. That's been like a big transition.
Yeah, I mean, the last year was really hard with the business, and it kind of started a little bit before the move. And yeah, I think we just kind of started to see like a decline in sales. And I mean, we're a small operation. It was me, Caleb, and we had one other employee at the time. And I just think there are a lot of things that, like, I mean, I started Bolt when I was 21 years old and just learning as we go. And I made a lot of mistakes for sure. There are a lot of things we did really well and a lot of things that we could have done differently. But I mean, don't regret any of them. But we just started to see changes in the business like within the last year.
Yeah.
And obviously tried everything that we could to continue to make it grow and work and all that. But now with the baby, I just feel like it's a wise time to maybe wind down the business and close it. So that's what we've been in the process of the last like month and a half, is closing Bolt, which has been super sad.
Yeah.
But also I feel like, you know, God's timing has been really, really gracious to us. And yeah, I feel like the opportunity to start doing social media has kind of come about at a time where I'm like, okay, it's very uncertain what my future brings, you know? So that's been cool. And I feel like, yeah, I've just seen the opportunity. So started to pursue that, which has been fun.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, when was the moment that you were like, I think I need to close this down? Because that's
Well, we should also talk about like it starting, because like that was pretty incredible to start a business at 21.
yeah.
You had saved, like, talk about how like you literally
Wait, yeah.
invested.
Walk us through
everything
that.
You saved
Thanks.
into it at the beginning.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I always knew I wanted to do something in fashion, wasn't sure what it would be. But when I was 18, my older sister was like, there are these things called online boutiques starting. And I was like, I'm going to do it. So I'm
You're like,
really
deal.
18.
That's so
I
cool.
was like, that's it. I'm doing that. And so my senior year of college, I took my life savings and invested probably like $7,000 or $8,000 into starting this business. And I launched it during my senior year of college. So March 28th, 2018, during my senior spring break, I was like, all right, business is up and running. Like, let's sell some things.
And obviously we were dating, and we were like, Mizzou offered an entrepreneurship class, and you were taking, didn't you get like a minor in entrepreneurship? Mm-hmm. And I feel like at the time I was on like a big business entrepreneurship, you know, grind type of mentality.
Like every college guy.
And I was
it's-
like, Abby, you need to start it sooner rather than later. Like, you need to do this. And you waited till January just for like tax purposes, which
Yeah.
made sense. So, yeah, didn't you go to market in February?
Yeah, it was so fast. I registered the business January 1st, 2018.
Wow.
During winter break. Went to market February like 14th, and then launched it March 28th. Like, I was like, let's just go. Let's
And
do this.
because originally I think you wanted to wait till you graduated. And I'm like,
Yeah.
let's just start now, like sooner rather than later.
Yeah, which
and
is good.
we painted your parents' spare bedroom in the basement
Yeah.
pink, and
Yeah.
that's where Bolt first got.
Yeah,
its
where did
founding.
Bolt even come from?
The name or
Yeah.
like the business? Well, that's the hardest part, I think, of starting a business.
The name, you're like,
You're like,
was
what should I
so
name this
hard.
thing?
That's what took me so long with starting it. I'm like, I have no idea what to call it.
I mean, I'm sure you guys felt that with like this podcast. Like, what do we name it?
yeah, actually, I was like
It just kind of came to Abby one day. She's like, Unplanned
a
podcast.
lightning bolt. Hey, is that what happened?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, everything I would just be on Google, like synonyms for clothes, synonyms for cool, synonyms for fashion-y, just like
Yeah.
random things. And when you buy fabric, you buy a bolt of fabric.
Yeah,
So I'm like, that makes sense. And then it's easy to spell, easy to remember.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So that's how that came about.
And even before that, though, like your summers, you'd work at boutiques, and didn't you like fully help this boutique that was a physical location get their product online?
Yeah.
So it's like you had a lot of experience going into it, and like you were a fashion major, correct?
Yeah, I did business major, fashion minor, and then I minored in entrepreneurship. And yeah, I loved my opportunities working for, I think if you want to be a business owner, something that I did a disservice of to myself, so like this is something practical to share. I worked at a lot of small businesses, which was awesome. Well, not a lot, but I worked at one small business, a boutique for years, and I learned so much practical, which was awesome. But I never had a corporate internship, and it's very different. Like I just didn't have the mindset or the skill or know how to like run an empire or
Yeah.
scale a business past just being small.
Yeah.
And that's where Caleb, when he came on the team in 2020, like really helped take Bolt to the next level because he had been working corporate for the previous year.
Well, I think with businesses, there's pros and cons to small and big businesses. Like with a small business, with that boutique, you learned agility and creativeness and how to move quickly and try different ideas. Bigger businesses can't do that as much, but they do have the infrastructure and they have the regiment and the just the
processes.
yeah, the processes of how to do things, and they have like everything is detailed and written out of, okay, if you want to do this campaign, these are the steps that you need to do, which can limit creativity sometimes, but there's definitely like the pros
Yeah,
and
you're
cons
writing
of
those rules for yourself. But I
Yeah.
think another big pro of like small businesses and specifically with Bolt is like you can really see the passion behind these
Yeah.
small businesses. And like also, I think with bigger businesses, it's harder to keep the business's integrity. And that's something I can say for Bolt, like throughout the whole thing, like you have maintained like incredible integrity with your business.
Thank you.
And also been very like generous with it too, even when it was struggling. So like you want to talk about like your philanthropy through Bolt?
Because you were, for a while, I don't know if you still do this right now, but I know you're giving a portion of profits to charities like Stand Up to Cancer and
Hope for Justice.
Hope for Justice, which is really cool. I love how you had like this positive impact focus with your business, and I feel like a lot of businesses don't do that. And I liked how it seemed like you were running it very ethically and trying to just to do good.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the biggest thing was like, man, someone asked me recently, like, what would success mean to you? And I'm like, man, if we could just be generous,
Yeah.
Because I think that's what you can buy yourself more things, whatever. But it's like, really, what's the impact you're going to make with what you've been like blessed with? And so with Bull, it was always like, man, I want to make a difference with this business. And just so Hope for Justice, they fight human trafficking, which is one of the biggest issues in our world,
Yeah.
And so it was so cool to get to partner with them. And we were able to be really generous with them for a couple of years. The last year was definitely harder
Yeah.
to give when, it's like, man, we have
debts to pay,
bills to
Yeah.
pay.
sales are dropped.
Yeah, but we were still able to give like here and there. But
Yeah.
I mean, that was always like, oh, let's get it back up and going so we can give and give. And, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like that was always like the passion behind it for sure.
Yeah. And look, like my hope in sharing this, by the way, is I hope everyone can just go show Bolt some love, whether that's like liking one of their photos on Instagram or sharing with a friend, because I know they're doing a sale right now as they as Caleb and Abby close up the doors of Bolt. But you guys can share whatever you want to share. But obviously, with 2020, everyone was at home. Sales were crushing it for a while there, right? Because
Yeah.
like your small business being online, everyone's at home. It was killing it. And then like out of nowhere, it's like you moved to Arizona, and then like after that were the sales kind of dropping because COVID was over and people weren't as, I don't know, buying stuff online as much as they were. Like what happened? Like, I'm curious.
Yeah, that's the best question. I don't know. I mean, I think there were a ton of different things. Like, I think it was the perfect storm, and your business is either going to thrive and continue to grow, and you're going to be able to pivot when things are hard, or you're going to suffocate. And I just feel like it kind of got to a point where it's like, I don't know, like, and when we don't have the money to like invest in learning more about advertising and these things. Like at that point, it was like the sales were down. And it's like, okay, well, our Google ads and our Facebook ads are broken. So like we need to hire someone that's an expert in these to fix them. But like we couldn't, and it was past my like knowledge level, you know?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And then yeah, there's obviously like economic shifts and all that. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like there was a perfect storm of things.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like even you guys, like, I don't know if the term is like the age of social media. I don't think that's past, but you guys started when you started to grow the same time when Bolt was like, when it was like super easy to grow organically on different social medias, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. It was easier to like, you could post or make a video and it would actually get promoted. I feel like the market is, I mean, you guys are still killing it, but like it's still like it's gotten way more saturated.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with businesses, like
Totally.
because people have told businesses like, oh, you want to grow, you got to be on social media, you got to make posts and videos. And so in 2020, when everyone's at home now and there's only a lesser percentage of businesses online and making that content, you could rise to the top a little bit easier. Now it's like so saturated. And I'll speak for myself, but like I don't like following like a ton of businesses personally on like Instagram. Like I want to follow my friends, and I think that sentiment has kind of shifted.
Yeah.
When everyone was at home and everyone was just scrolling, like people did follow more accounts, but now it's like I feel like instead of following more people, I've been like unfollowing people or businesses just because like I want to strip down that content. So I feel like part of that is maybe a part of the business, from the business side of things.
Yeah, I think, and this would be more advice to someone who wants to start a small business. Like, start your small business. Just because it didn't work out for us doesn't mean that it's not going to work out for someone
still
else.
Be on social media.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I think the thing is, it's just you have to make sure you're differentiating yourself.
Yes.
And I think maybe I lost a little bit of like my vision of like what is making us different. And like just really focusing and narrowing it down. It's like, well, why should someone shop from Bolt? Like, what is different about it? Because when you are in a market that there's a lot of competition, it's like, okay, what's going to set you apart? And so that would be my advice, just being, and you always talk about this, like you want to be a niche, like you got to be niche.
Yeah, you got to think of yourself as like a fine dining restaurant. You got to be very niche focused, serve a very, very specific audience. But we can get on to more positive stuff about you guys being pregnant at the same time and all that. But
before we switch topics,
before we switch though,
today is March 28th. This is Bolt's five-year birthday today.
The day that we're filming this, 5-year birthday?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, 5 years is an incredible.
That's incredible. Hey, congrats.
Thank you. That's an incredible accomplishment.
Kept the doors open for 5 years.
I know
That's
it feels like sad, but that's like an incredible accomplishment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But hey, here's the deal though. You guys have done one business now, and most entrepreneurs, it takes them 5, 10, 20 businesses to finally have that home run business. And so like, I don't know. Just because you're ending Bolt doesn't mean that you can't start another business in the future.
There's so many good things that come from Bolt. I could literally, like, had such an amazing community that you've had on your page, and you're so intentional with each purchase. You're handwriting a card, and you're praying for your customers, like doing incredible things through it. And then, like we said, been generous. And then also, if you want to see Abby get fired up, like get her talking about fast fashion, I feel like you've like maintained so much integrity also through your product.
Thank you.
So
that's funny. Last night we were talking about fast fashion, and I was getting heated, and I look over at Caleb, and he's like, "Simmer down," like kind of gesturing to me
specifically. You're like,
Shein?
I don't even know how you say it.
Just funny. Yeah, I think something that is important to share is like, man, just don't be afraid to fail. You know, because failure, we've learned. Starting a business at 21, learning as we're going, like it has opened so many doors for us and opportunities in different ways just because you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's like, how would we even know how to like run a business or do anything? Like Caleb's starting a franchise now. And it's like, man, just those opportunities come because you take chances. And it's like, if the worst thing that ever happens is you fail, like boo-hoo. You know what I mean? Like that's such a gift. Yeah. Honestly.
Oh, totally. And I think people don't see the failures behind the success. Cause like even us, I tried so hard for a year to grow a YouTube channel. I basically put in 20 hours a week for a whole year on YouTube trying to grow. And I failed. Like we got to 300 subscribers after almost a year. and we had like maybe 100 views on every video. Like I was so mad because I was working my butt off
And
trying to
people
grow
were
this thing.
making fun of you,
People
right?
make fun of me. I think you were
I
making.
was making fun of
Abby
me.
was making fun of me. You were making fun of
Well,
me.
everyone makes
In a
fun of
nice
people
way.
until they're successful.
Exactly.
If Joe Rogan didn't have millions of listeners and he was still putting that much effort into his podcast, like people would make fun of him for that. Like,
Yeah.
dude, what are you doing?
I remember you being like, I want to have 1 million YouTube subscribers. I think you maybe had like 100 at the time.
Everyone was
And I
like,
told Caleb, I was like, that's a pipe dream. You know what I mean?
This musical theater kid, what does he think?
But if
But
you
we
keep,
were wrong.
but if you keep trying and failing, eventually you're gonna have that home run.
Totally.
And so, like, I don't know. I just think about like when you listen. I love to listen to entrepreneurs talk, and a lot of them are like, yeah, I like had like 10 business failures before I had this big success. We actually have a friend who their dad is like extremely successful, and he was telling me about like I learned from them about how he failed too to finally get to where he's at. So look, Bolt ending, it's like that stinks, but I know that you guys are gonna have so much success in front of you. And also like if you guys want to support Bolt at all, I know they have a sale going on right now as are you guys liquidating your inventory? So
Yeah, thanks.
if you guys want to go support Bolt, their Instagram is @BoltBoutique.
Yeah.
And then you guys should also follow Abigail. We call her Abigail to differentiate. Follow Abigail Howard on Instagram and follow you guys on TikTok. We can put links to in the description of this video.
That's
so
kind.
one more thing before we move on is I just want to say like I commend Abby so much, and like she's like the least prideful person when it comes to stuff. Like you have so much humility, like, and like even just sharing these things, like most people wouldn't want to talk about that, like especially because it has been so hard for like this door to close. So I just want to commend you for that. I always tell Matt, I'm like, Abby is like the least prideful person. Like,
Oh, thank you.
yeah, and it's hard too because like owning a business where you buy inventory. Like for me, I've made YouTube videos where I put in like maybe 50 hours of work into one YouTube video and then it fails, and I'm so bummed because I worked so hard for it. But like at least I don't have like it's not like I invested I don't know $20,000 into this one video. I guess there are YouTubers like Mr. Beast that do that, but like I don't know. For me, it's like my time. But for you guys, like you have put your money like into this, and so it is scary to like. You're trying to sell and then like pay, like when you take out loans for your business, like you got to pay those off. And so it's like, that is scary too. So I just commend you guys for having that courage and being like brave enough to be, to face failure if you need to. And, but I don't know. I just see success coming your way. And
there's some very exciting news coming up.
Yeah.
You want to share?
Hey, real quick, if you haven't already hit the like button and subscribe, please do that right now. It would really mean the world to us. It actually helps us out a ton. It tells the algorithm to push this episode out to more people. So go ahead, smash that like button, hit subscribe. Thanks for doing it. Okay, now back to the episode.
We're having a baby.
Yay! So that's like been the most exciting thing is that we're both pregnant at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
So we should kind of go back to like the day that you told us, I feel like, because the background for us is that we just come back from the doctor doing like a very early ultrasound because we didn't know how far along it was. So they're like, they were like, you need to come in right now just to make sure. Even though I was like, I'm pretty sure it's very early. But so we had just come from the doctors, but you guys didn't know that. Because I was like 5 weeks pregnant. No, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks pregnant. And we go to dinner at your house, and you said, like, right off the bat, you're like, I have an outfit I really want to put Griffin in. It's a Christmas outfit. It's so cute. We're like, sure, yeah, okay. And so then tell us what you did.
That day we went to, what's the baby store?
Carter's.
And we're like, how do we want to tell them? And we bought a little onesie that said Cousin Crew on it. Bought it there because all the ones on Amazon.
The ones on Amazon are gross.
Really?
Anyways,
They're just not cute.
Yeah, they're just chuggy.
If you like them, they're cute. But
You just got
sorry.
offended.
So
Treat people with kindness. I'm like, they're gross.
so Abby runs upstairs to change Griffin. He didn't want to be changed. He was like
upset.
crying. And then you brought him down, and you guys were like, cover your eyes, and you were like holding him like Simba, and like, okay, open. And they were like, and you guys.
We did a terrible reaction. Literally, I watched the video. I was like, I don't look happy.
But I think your reaction was like shocked because you're like, oh my gosh, we're pregnant at the same time.
No, yeah, that was my exact thought.
Also,
Yes.
I literally told Matt, I don't know why, I've never said this before, but driving to your house that night, I was like, I feel like Abby's going to tell us she's pregnant.
Yeah.
I literally don't know why in the world. I had some instinct. I was like, that'd be really crazy.
We were just
Wow.
at the doctor too. We had just gone for our first ever appointment. Abby was so early in her pregnancy that we couldn't even hear a heartbeat yet. And they confirmed after multiple tests that yes, Abby is indeed pregnant. So when you guys told us that you were pregnant, we were just like, no freaking way.
Yeah, I think you were just like shocked.
I want to apologize for my reaction, honestly.
I
looked
love your reaction.
I didn't like my reaction either. I hated it.
No, yours was sweet.
To Abby? No, I.
No.
You guys have
get-
to go on her
hey.
Instagram and watch his reaction. It was
Yes.
sweet.
Yeah. Is that on your Instagram, Abby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Matt didn't like his reaction.
At Abigail Howard. At Abigail Howard.
Abigail G. Howard, yeah.
Abigail G.
Matt
Howard.
didn't like his reaction to finding out that I was pregnant with Griffin. Why? Yeah, why was that?
my reaction?
Yeah, you're like, I don't like that.
Oh, with
You're
Griffin.
Like, I sound
well,
like a
okay.
sissy.
Here's the deal. If I get in my head really easily, and so you told me like 15 minutes before,
I
you're
said I
like,
was gonna make
you're
a
like,
TikTok.
I'm gonna make a TikTok with you. Like, can you come out? I'm gonna take a video of you for a TikTok.
I
And
had
so
to explain why the camera was gonna be
so
out.
I just
Yeah.
got in my like I mean, look, I lived in the moment, but I was a little in my head because I was like, I'm being recorded. But when you told me recently that we were pregnant with baby number
That
2,
was not
I
the
was half
same.
asleep. Like I was just like, I
that
walk
video
in.
was
I,
You're like,
I,
we'll deal with it tomorrow.
yeah.
You went back to sleep.
I went back to
anyway,
sleep. I
this
was
is not about us.
And not about
I
us,
loved
but
it.
anyway, that was crazy. I was just like so thrilled that you guys were getting to be pregnant at the same time, and that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because before we were still kind of like not sad, but we hadn't felt the positive emotions of like finding out that we were pregnant yet because it was so soon.
Uh-huh.
So then when you said that, like I was like, oh wait, this could be really fun. Like I
Yeah.
was like really excited.
No, that was definitely the turning point for us because we kind of were sad about being pregnant. It was just such a shocking thing, and we were like working through those emotions. But yeah, we were
overwhelmed.
after you guys announced to us, I was freaking stoked.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm happy that we got to
I was
aid
happy
in
for
that.
you guys.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's been super fun. And I think too, when you guys told us, like a lot of people have asked, like, were you sad? Like Matt and Abby Stole Your Thunder? I'm like, are you
Yes.
kidding?
Oh,
This has made it
Yes.
so much more fun. Like when I told you, I was like, when we told you, I was excited. And then when you told us, I started bawling. I'm like, this is going to be even better, you know?
You were so sweet with your reaction.
I wanted to ask you guys that on the podcast.
Oh.
Did you feel in any way
I got a lot of-
that we stole your thunder? Because we had some comments on our YouTube video.
Even personal DMs, people were like, I just feel so bad for like that.
That's-
They're like, could you not have waited?
that's people who don't know our relationship. You know.
Yeah, we do everything together. We get married together. We do showers together. We travel together. We have babies together.
Why are we not doing a gender? We should have done a combined gender reveal.
Yeah, like
What are
don't
we-
get me
what are we
started on
thinking?
that.
Why did we not do that together?
Well, you guys would have revealed, and we would have been like, "We're not finding out."
Ours have been gray.
Great.
yeah.
Yellow.
So sad. Yeah,
why-
they're not finding out the gender of their baby, and it's honestly driving me probably more crazy than it's driving you guys.
I feel so calm.
Man, it's gonna be like the week before Abby's due, and we'll be like, "Oh, we need to buy some baby clothes, or
Yeah.
like, we need to buy diapers." Like, we'll figure it out probably the week
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, we're not really planners either. Well, Caleb is a planner. I'm not. And I think a little bit of not knowing the gender does kind of make it feel less like real in a sense when you say, because it's not like you can be like, hey, little baby girl, little boy,
Yeah.
like, love you. And
Or
you
call
can
them
call
by their name.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna show up to the hospital and the baby's gonna come out and be like, what the? There was a baby in there. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Honestly,
gonna be a
that happens
shock.
anyway, though. You're kind of like, what in the frick?
Yeah.
Just
I don't know. At the end, you could tell there was a baby in there. I was looking back at videos of Abby last night, and I was like, "Holy crap! Her belly was huge. Like it looked like there were 4 babies in there." Okay,
I think
like
what gets me the most is the fact that like my skin had stretched so much around my like belly button area that it was like all purple.
It looked
I think
like
you
it
looked really
hurt.
cute.
It
You
was
look
really
so
cute.
cute.
It did
You're
hurt.
a cute mama.
Remember
She
you
said
saying
it looked
hurt?
like it hurt. It was
Well,
really cute.
It was cute. It is cute, and it's still cute. But I remember you being like, "It hurts," and I was like, "I mean, it looks like it hurts." a
I thought I was
little
gonna
bit.
explode.
But
Anyway,
So you both will be in the last part of your pregnancy when it's like the hottest part of the year.
Yes.
no, we'll be in the pool on
Floating.
and you
Yeah.
guys will be bringing us water.
I'm excited for you to have that feeling of getting in the pool when you're like so big and you're just like, ah.
The problem,
But then
though,
the baby moves so much in the
Yeah.
pool, it's so weird.
Cool.
the doctor told us though that if Abby's in the pool, it's less pressure downward to help get the baby out. So
I
like
didn't really
you
care at
almost
that point.
you almost want to like I don't know go on walks and like try to get the baby.
Your jumping jacks.
I spent
Yeah,
my
you
whole
do
day.
some
I
jumping
spent my
jacks.
whole day doing that, and by the end of the day, I was like ready to get in the pool.
Ride a roller coaster or something
Lots
like
of
that.
squats.
So Abby, you're about 2 weeks ahead of my Abby, or
Yeah, right? Yeah, 23 weeks on Thursday.
Okay.
So yeah, almost
That's-
23.
That's crazy. So you got
I'm 20 weeks today.
Oh my gosh, Abby's 20 weeks pregnant today. Yay!
Yeah.
We're filming this on
Okay,
March
so like
28th.
2.5 weeks. Then.
Yeah. It's
Sweet.
gonna be so fun.
So how do you feel right now? Like how are you doing?
I honestly feel really good, which
Really?
I'm thankful for. I told Caleb, I'm like, if all my pregnancies are this easy, let's have 10. You know?
And I'm like, just wait till you push the thing
yeah,
out.
like we'll evaluate that later.
I feel like I don't want to scare you, but the third trimester is where Abby really could feel it.
Started to feel
like
it.
that. Was that even worse?
I lost my mental game in the third.
Was that worse than the first? Was the third worse than the first?
I don't know. They're worse in different ways.
Because the first is just like you feel sick, and then the third is like I have a
Well, Abby
massive
didn't
child.
feel sick at all.
Oh,
I felt better than ever. I actually felt more ravenous than ever.
what?
That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, I couldn't stop eating. It was actually a problem. I went to the doctor, was like, am I gaining too fast? You know? And he was like, no, you're good, but, don't eat the potatoes. I'm like, that's all I want to eat. You know?
Potatoes.
Don't eat the potatoes.
He was like, just
They
be
told you
careful.
not to eat potatoes?
No, he was like, just be careful with people go crazy with pastas and pizzas and potatoes and carbs. And I was like, that's all I'm eating.
It was at your parents' Christmas dinner, and your mom made like these twice baked potatoes, like cut in half, and so it's still like filled with stuff.
Filled with
Abby
potatoes.
had like equivalent of like 3 potatoes. She had like 6 of
Whole
them.
russet potatoes. My favorite food.
It's great.
I made potato
What?
soup twice in 1 week, like a vat of it. Caleb was like, yeah, the potato soup's good. And I'm like, cool. Should I make more?
Should I make more? I will make more. Would you
was
say that was
funny.
a craving or just...
I don't know. I think my body was just so hungry.
Just
I
the
just
hunger.
wanted substantial things. And like, I didn't want smoothies or fruit or vegetables. Like, I would make myself eat them, but I was just like, all I really want is to be filled up on carbs right now. So,
I didn't eat anything healthy my first trimester. Like, literally not a single green thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't having any health.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, when you were both in your first trimester, you guys were already back in St. Louis at my parents' house, and you're like waiting to tell, like, you wanted to wait for
We
us
were
to be
trying
there,
to hide it.
and Abby pukes on the carpet, and we get a text, or I don't know if it was a text or
puke,
call.
it was projectile.
It was like, you guys need to get here now. Like, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep a secret.
You said that text, and then you sent a text with like, you gotta get here quick. I think there's ham going in the oven.
Oh my gosh.
Not the ham. I
What is up
literally
with you
hate
guys?
ham when I'm
Right.
pregnant.
Yeah, ham
Ham
is just
ever.
a big no for both of you, right?
Yeah.
Like that. What is it about ham?
Ham is not good. Let's be honest.
Freaky, dude. I don't know. I don't like
Ham
it.
is so freaky.
Turkey's way better.
My favorite was
And
when
it fills up. It's mostly the smell. Like the smell is so consuming. Like
My-
it's like
And the look of it.
my favorite
All
was
of it.
in Abby's first pregnancy. My parents or our parents were wanting so badly to make this ham. They had this ham in their fridge, like
honey-baked
ready to
ham.
go. And
It was
Abby
honey-baked.
Abby said like, by the way, I like the one thing I cannot eat right now is ham. And then the next day, mom and dad asked Abby to prepare the ham.
Well, mom's like, but it's like a honey baked ham. It's like my
good
mom was
ham.
It's like,
big
no,
hyped
mom,
on
It was probably
no
very
ham.
quality.
So I bought Abby Chipotle, and then mom and dad were kind of offended by that. And I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, she cannot have ham. It's not gonna
we're
happen.
gonna watch this.
No.
Sorry, mom.
We love
told
you,
them
mom and
that.
dad.
I think we did tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're aware.
I'm
laughed about
fine
it.
with ham now. It was just the first trimester.
Sure.
Everything in the first trimester was so bad. Even over Christmas, we got like Chinese food that one day, and I was
Yeah.
like, I felt game for it, and then I got it, and I was like, not game for this.
But then lasagna too. Like, do you have a lasagna version now? Because you threw up all your lasagna back in
I could
December.
probably eat it again, honestly.
And I don't know if like nobody really caught on. Like, I made a TikTok because Abby throws up, and I'm like, wait, this is actually like the perfect teaser for people to subtly tell people that we're pregnant, but then like not tell them. But no one caught on. My parents didn't realize
one
when
did.
Abby was throwing up that she was just in the first trimester.
I
They
thought
didn't
for
catch
sure
on.
they would, because
And-
I was like, I'm not eating anything. Like, they were trying to feed me stuff, and I was eating rice cakes.
And then-
Then I was throwing up. They didn't catch on.
And
Nobody
mom,
on the
mom
TikTok
calls me
comments.
is like,
Yeah.
Abby has food poisoning from the lasagna. We just feel so bad.
She was on the phone, and Caleb and I were like driving to the airport.
We know.
We knew. We were like,
You're like,
yeah.
food
Oh no, that was when we landed, and she was telling us.
Yeah.
In the car, she's like, poor Abby got sick last night, like the lasagna, and Yeah, we were just like, like just so excited to tell them.
Dude.
That was fun. And then we told the family, and no one has better reactions than the Howard family.
Oh my
ever.
gosh.
True.
Those telling our family was hilarious, you guys. Like,
was awesome.
I was watching the footage back last night, and they just our parents go crazy, man.
From
Like,
mom to Josh to grandma.
It's so good. Honestly, you just
Dad
need
just
to watch
cries.
it and focus on one person. Yeah, your dad
Yeah.
and one of them. He's just like so excited because he knew and he was waiting to tell, like, for the rest of the family to react. He was so excited.
yeah,
Sweet.
that was fun too, because I feel like, well, first of all, they were shocked that you guys were pregnant. I feel like they might have been a little bit more on the radar because we just had a baby, and they're like, maybe Caleb and Abby will have a baby one of these days. But that definitely shocked them. And then to find out that you guys are pregnant together, then they're really shocked. So that was a really cool
It kind
time.
of works out nicely for them because then they just take one visit out and they get to meet 2 grandbabies.
I
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
It's like ideal. So fun.
It's really exciting.
Yeah, it was funny editing that video. Well, we had an editor work on the video, and then I also I also put in like 10, 20 hours on that video. But I was like, why am I spending so much time on this? I'm like, this is going to be like a memory I'm going to watch back for a very long time. Like, it'll be cool every year to go back and watch those announcement videos. And I actually just watched the announcement from last year, this past week, and that was really cool. So I'm excited for that.
It's going to be so fun to get big bellies together and then have newborns together. I don't know if we're going to see each other that much at that point, or maybe we'll hang out every day.
Yeah, I was trying to think about that, and I'm like, how will because I feel like we're very similar, but then also I feel like you're much more extroverted, where you're like, I love to have people around all the time, whereas I'm like, I could shut myself into the house for like 4 days and be like, oh, I haven't talked to anybody, and like kind of be okay a little bit. And so I'm like, I wonder how that will be like after.
I'll follow your lead. How about that?
Yeah.
Like, I'll see what you're feeling like because I'm going to want to be around people.
Yeah.
So you can let me know.
I will. Yeah, I will. I was thinking about that. I'm like, even just with our moms coming and staying, I'm like, I'm going to have a conversation with them, just being like, don't ask me any questions, just do things,
Yeah.
Just because I feel like I know that I would get overwhelmed by that.
How cool would it be if we have another boy and then you guys have a boy and we just have 3 little boys running around together?
Aw, I didn't even think. No, I know one of us is having a girl right now.
Actually, I think you're right.
When we first found out you guys were pregnant together, you were like convinced. I don't know what your rationale was. You're like, it's just so cool. Like, one of us is like guaranteed to have a girl because they already have Griffin. So that means one of us. I'm like, why couldn't Abby have a boy and you have a boy? And
Yeah.
you're like,
That just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right. I'm with you. Honestly, it's not going to happen.
Or how funny would it be if there's Griffin and the 2 little girls? And like Griffin's like the
That
leader.
would be-
protector.
He's a protector.
Protector cousin.
See, in my head, that's not it either, though. One of us is having a boy, one of us is having a girl in my head.
Yeah.
I think you guys are having a girl.
Aw, thanks.
Even when I saw the ultrasound, I was like, looks like
Really?
a little girl.
What do you guys think we're having?
that's a good question.
I could see little girl, but just because you told me you got emotional over the name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so sweet. So
Plot
maybe I'm
twist, the
sensing
name
girl.
no longer makes him cry.
Yeah, the name didn't hit the same. We
And he
said it
actually
yesterday.
told me he doesn't like it.
No, I like the name still. I still like the name. No, but it
Scratch
was
that.
weird.
2 nights
Have
ago,
you guys-
I was like, oh, okay.
Have you guys shared your boy or girl names? I don't.
No,
We
we
haven't.
haven't.
And
Have you
you're
guys?
not going
have you guys
to?
shared yours? I don't know. We haven't really thought about that.
We're
What about
gonna
you
just
guys?
share it with family.
Have you guys posted anything on your Instagram or TikTok about your baby names?
I feel like we're pretty set, but not like 100% set.
Yeah.
Are you guys still? By the way, are you guys still making TikToks? For a while, when we first started TikTok, they would copy our TikTok dances and like make fun of us on their TikTok. It was the funniest thing.
I mean, our name is Caleb and Abby.
Because
Just because, and like, you had a decent following, maybe
Yeah.
like 50,000 at the time. I mean, you have like a lot more than that now, but we made Caleb and Abby as a parody off of Matt and Abby.
Yeah.
It was a date night, and we were like, well, you guys are amazing dancers. We're terrible dancers. And so we were like, it would just be funny and goofy. And like, it was 2020, so you couldn't leave. So like, let's just be goofy and copy Matt and Abby's dances and just kind of make fun
Wait, I
of them on
remember this. You
TikTok.
had the tie-dye jumpsuits.
Yeah, we made tie-dye jumpsuits.
We also did the I duetted one of your videos when you were talking about your period, and Matt's like, Matt, do you remember this?
Yes.
And Matt was
No.
like,
It's
I just think it's
beautiful.
like beautiful because your body's like
it was a sweet
you're just a
answer.
woman, and then we duetted it, and you asked me like, Caleb, what do you think about my period? And I was like,
You're
I'm
joking.
all jokes, man. I'm never like serious, and I was
Yeah.
like, period. Like, you know that TikTok that's going around where the kid's like,
Oh yeah, that.
yeah.
Impersonation. That's a good impersonation.
And people were like, I don't know if we got mean comments on that.
I don't
I don't
know.
care what people say.
was
Like,
just
obviously,
funny.
I was just,
Yeah.
goofing.
That's hilarious.
It's just funny because I think you and Caleb are very different.
So different,
So
dude.
different.
It's like we're not even related.
That was my whole best man speech for you.
Yeah.
I was like, you got good grades. I didn't. You did muni. I did sports.
Yeah.
You did this. I did that. Yeah. That was the basis of my whole like best man speech for your wedding.
It's funny because like I feel like me, you, and Josh look nothing
I thought
alike.
me and Abby are kind of similar.
Yeah, we're the same.
They're the
We
same.
have a lot of similar interests.
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know how that happened.
In the nicest way possible. And I think I've said this to you. I was like, if we weren't brothers, we wouldn't.
I don't know if we would be friends.
No.
Well, you would never run in the same circle because you just
Yeah.
have different interests.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, you guys.
Well, wait.
Yeah.
I also want
Oh,
to say something.
Yeah.
Matt looks up to you so much, and especially like as a kid, like I don't know. I just the way that I can I. You're,
Yeah, oh, yeah,
I don't
you-
want
yeah,
him to
no,
get
you-
embarrassed, but he just like looks up to you so much, and like all throughout your childhood, like such a good big brother.
Are you
Oh,
tearing
he's
up?
crying.
Aw.
That's sweet.
Big
Come here,
soft
give
man.
me a
Yeah,
hug.
I love that.
This is so sweet.
I think it's because it's mutual.
Love you, bro.
I'm
you know?
too tough to cry. I don't cry.
This
Wow.
reminds me. This reminds me of when
Sweet
you
baby.
left for college, and I cried the day that you left for college, and it. I think it was because like that was my realization of like our childhood being over. Because when you were gone, I'm like, wow, like this whole norm that I had lived with my whole life of like you being my brother and you being at home, like it's done. And yeah, that was like I barely ever cry, but that was
You don't cry.
yeah, that was really sad. I was like, wow, my childhood's done. My brother's moving
Yeah.
out.
And
He's
you
going to
also
college.
like viewed Caleb as like the coolest person.
Yeah, I always thought you were so cool. I still think you're cool, but I thought you were way cooler when I was younger.
It's a more level playing field.
Yeah. Now that I've gotten more mature, I'm like, like Caleb and not like it's not like Caleb's at this like other level of coolness than I am. But when I was a kid,
You've passed me up in a lot of things. From a
No.
from a handful of
awesome, yeah.
I,
But
I,
we're so
I still
proud of
think
you
you're
guys.
cool, Caleb.
What's your guys' favorite childhood memory? Watching your guys' home videos was the sweetest thing ever.
Have you
guys are
posted?
so
Have you
Circus-
shared any of those?
Circus Magnifico.
That was so.
Have you shared any of those?
I put that on my Instagram story. Maybe I'll have to share that to the Unplanned podcast now that you guys are on the
I
podcast.
feel
Because
like it's just so funny because you can tell that Matt is like forcing you to do it. You're such a just like good big brother. You're just like
yeah,
Well, yeah,
Okay.
Matt used to direct plays. Like my dad built a stage in our basement, and
Yeah.
you would direct plays, and you would. And this again, I was always just goofing, and you were like so serious. Like,
Yeah.
Caleb, you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna go there, and I'd be like, haha, okay. And then like I just would do stuff
the
to
fact
make
that
you
did
mad.
it though. is
Yeah.
very sweet.
Well, I think the funniest memory that we have, this is like our most famous memory from our family, is when we were kids. I think we were like 4 and 6, and our church put on the Passion, which is like, you know, the story of Jesus. And so I wanted to be Jesus,
Well, the
or
crucifixion.
the crucifixion. It was like that.
Obviously,
And
you
so
wanted to be the main guy.
I wanted to be the main character.
I called Jesus.
I was the director and I was the star in the show, and I needed you to be the Roman soldier.
and I had to, I was the Roman soldier.
And
who
so I was
hanging
in
you.
my tidy whities at 4 years old in front of our whole entire family at Easter, and I remember that you didn't follow my directions. I directed you.
I was making a spectacle of it.
Yeah, and so I was on the cross, like I was, doing this whole performance as a 4-year-old in my tidy whities. And because you didn't follow directions, Jesus ended up coming off the cross and biting the Roman soldier on the butt.
But
He bit me on the butt
Yeah.
love that.
in front of all my family, aunts,
Yeah.
uncles.
And I think you started crying, and then I started crying, and then I think the whole family just started laughing, and we were just confused at that point.
I'm just confused
But-
why you bit his butt.
I don't know. I was just so mad. I
It
was
was
so mad at him.
juicy.
He wasn't
Good
following.
surface area at 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what was he wearing?
I don't know what Caleb was wearing. I know.
Like
I was,
pants?
I mean, probably you probably had me like in just a bed sheet, like a toga or
oh my god.
like as a Roman soldier type thing.
Yeah.
awesome.
I forget about that. I forget that I used to direct plays. Like every
called for
single
entertainment.
family gathering we ever had up until I was like 12, I made every single one of our cousins like be in a show and made you and Josh be in the show. And I was like director and like we're going to do this show. But that was fun. That was a lot
You've
of fun.
always loved making videos. I remember in high school you'd make like the PSA videos
Yeah.
for like drinking and driving and like the prom videos, and I was always like, that's so cool. Like Matt is so good at video and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, I've said this before. Like
Yeah.
Matt, every single class, whether it was history class and it was like you needed to make a presentation on World War I or whatever, you'd be like, "Can I make a video out of this?" And they're like, "That's weird, but sure." And so you've been making videos for a long time just because you've always loved it, and it paid off.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I love hearing you guys talk about, like, obviously we would go to your plays and stuff.
Yeah.
And Caleb weirdly knows like a lot of show tunes, and like Caleb hates musicals. And I'm like,
hate
how do you know
musicals.
these songs? And he's like, because my mom would always make me go sit through Matt's plays.
She always like, "Caleb, you have to go to one. You have to just go to one." I was like, "Okay."
And I just imagine you sitting there like this the whole time, like dead face.
Well, my mom, you would be like practicing throughout the house. You'd just be singing the songs, and I'm like, "Get this guy to shut up." And I was like, "Matt, stop singing." And mom would yell at me like, "Caleb, he's practicing." And mom was like, mom was a muni mom. She doesn't want to admit it, but she was a muni mom.
That's so funny, dude. We were just emotional yesterday. No, wait, 2 days ago.
Matt was
listening-
playing show tunes in the car on Sunday.
And I never do that. I never listen to show tunes ever. But I just felt like, hey, maybe we should listen to some show tunes.
He
And
turns around. I'm in the backseat of the car, and he goes, "We're theater people." Because I was like, "Why are you playing this?"
And we were listening to-
Defying Gravity.
Yeah.
He goes, "We're theater people." I was like, "We haven't listened to this in so long."
makes me want to, like, I don't know, relive my theater dreams again one day and be in a show, or I don't know. I don't know if we would ever, if Broadway's ever on the horizon for us, but like
It's not for me.
I don't know, dude. I would still be down. I would still be down. Like there's something in my soul that gets moved when I hear,
should be Tony in West Side
dude,
Story.
I would crap my pants if I was
You
Tony
gotta
in West
hurry
Side
though
Story.
because you're getting older.
Yeah, I'm the perfect age for Tony right now, probably. Yeah,
Start with community theater.
but I don't know.
We'll support.
Thank you.
We'll go to your show.
Go to your
Should I do a
show.
community theater show? Should
Why
I do that?
not?
That'd be
Yeah.
sick.
I love that.
I can't even picture it now.
You'd fill the audience. You'd fill the crowd.
They would sell a
Thanks.
lot of tickets.
Okay, if you're in the Phoenix area and doing West Side Story, send the auditions as well.
God.
Even if it's a high school,
Oh
he
my
looks
God.
young.
Even if it's a high school. Matt comes in and plays the adult in like a high school show.
Oh my god.
The kid that's been waiting for the role and he's finally a senior. Never saw this coming.
You're out, kid, Matson.
Never saw this coming.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, well, thanks so much for being on the
Yeah,
show.
thank you.
Thanks
and
for having us.
what's the best way people can find you on social media? Which platforms are you most active on?
Instagram, I would say at Abigail G. Howard.
Follow the
Sweet.
pregnancy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
go
it.
buy something from Bolt. I think there's a sale right now for Bolt, and don't you guys have stuff like $20? Like there's some good deals. Okay.
Oh, probably less than that. We're marking things down. We're
Whoa,
selling
okay.
things.
That's crazy. Stuff
Yeah.
is marked down. It's on sale. Go support Bolt. Go support Caleb and Abby.
Thanks.
Or if
We
there's
love you
not a
guys.
sale in the media when this gets posted, there will be. So
Yeah.
just keep an eye out
Keep
for
an
that.
eye.
That's sweet.
Yep.
Well, we love you guys. We'll also at your YouTube channel in the description. 'Cause I know
Yeah,
you guys have a
I'm-
YouTube channel.
I'm not as active on social media. I'll post time to time, but
do.
at Chow 7000.
At Chow 7000.
I love calling you Chow.
Well, you guys, we love you. Thanks for being on the podcast, and thank you guys for listening. Again, if you could make sure that you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, it goes a long way.
Should I read a review really
and
quick?
yes, let's read a review from our podcast reviews.
This one says best podcast in all caps. And it says, I love this podcast so much. Wait, actually it says I love this podcast too much.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
They love it too much.
That's
So I don't, yeah, maybe they love it too much or so much. Either way, sounds good. Good job, guys. Her Instagram is HattieKate2219. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Hattie
Okay,
Kate.
Kate.
Hattie Kate.
Thank you. We'll see you guys in the next episode. And as always, 3, 2, 1.
Peace out, dudes.